Yeah, we should be live now. Hey everyone that's listening, and welcome to another episode of Everything Outside Code. And today I have Yulia with me. Yulia, you want to say hi?
Hello, so crazy exciting to be on free platforms live at the same time.
Yeah, it is. We're streaming to LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube at the same time. So anyone listening, welcome to another episode of Everything Outside Code, where I talk to really amazing people each week about go-to-market and go-to-market strategies, especially folks building founders and co-founders building technical products or SaaS products at least. And today we have Julia. Julia is building a really fun tool for founders that are struggling with LinkedIn and also building like an open source alternative to DocSend. So I intentionally haven't tried like any of them because I want to hear firsthand. I need that like new bias um, with me as we get on the stream. So first things first, I'd like to know like what's your journey? How'd you get here? Maybe just take us back a little bit.
Oh, okay. So I will try to be short, but like the whole story is that I was previously in academia. So 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was doing the research. And I was working in university for some time, but I always had this desire for some small projects to create something, to implement something real. And in academia, there's kind of a lot of limits on that. And then I moved after finishing my degree. I moved to doing the startup or building the startup or building the company. And we did everything by the book in terms of like looking for the fundraising, for money, then like growing the team. Didn't really focus maybe so much on customers, but like focus a lot on the product and no, doing not so much effort maybe in the testing the product, not as much as I would say you need to do. Yeah, now
Yeah.
from after 5 years, but like basically it was fun. It was very fun experience. We were building this marble, it called marble. It was learning management system, basically the course creation platform,
Hmm.
online courses. And we sell it to different companies to educate their clients and sometimes employees. So that was the whole business. But unfortunately, we didn't fundraise enough money and many other reasons, and then we would need to shut down, get the team and everything. So, and that's when my story of different micro projects begin. Approximately 1 year ago, like you, William, said to me, I wake up on the 1st of January. I wake up also on the first. But a year ago, yeah, on the 1st of January, I wake up and like, okay, what am I gonna do with my life? It's like
Yeah.
the company not existing, nothing exists, what I'm going to do with my life. And I'm like, okay, I will start writing on LinkedIn and Twitter every day, or like, I don't know,
Wow.
five times per week or something. So, and I committed to this thing and start doing that. And then this thing bring me to start learning the code approximately in
Yeah.
April, with together with ChatGPT and together with open source, your favorite open source projects. I started the code and I built this micro tool for LinkedIn, which got super like viral, a lot of attention. It's like post generator, which further become the Postly, which now I'm working on the full LinkedIn content platform. And then I joined the Papermark project, which is founded and um, by the other founder, and I joined to do the growth and build everything around um, micro tools as a co-founder. So, and now I'm basically working on these two most of the time, and sometimes build some random stuff done. don't ask.
Yeah. Wait, this is first, this is amazing. Like I'm curious. Like, you decided to post at least like 5 times a week. How do you find what to post? Because I know that's something a lot of people struggle with, including myself. Sometimes I have it on like my to-do to like share something on LinkedIn, even just not just LinkedIn, but on Twitter once a week. But I can't find the motivation. I don't even know what to post. I'm thinking about so many other things. How did you do
Mm-hmm.
it?
Mm-hmm. It's like totally random first. I mean, like,
Okay.
I was like, okay, um, I was like a bit in the product onboarding, interested in product onboarding. I start posting
Mhm.
about that. Um, I start looking at different people who writing about the growth and product-led growth on LinkedIn, and that's apparently, if you're not familiar, if someone who is watching not familiar with LinkedIn, there's like very interesting people to follow who write about this product-led growth, product onboarding, growth, and marketing. I find it's much more intense and interesting and case study based, and I found these interesting people there, and I start writing also about the product onboarding. I mean, what I knew at the moment. I did some micro projects, and then I start sharing also my LinkedIn experience, like how I feel about writing
Yeah.
there. And then slowly this moved to the point when I start developing and then post my project there. And
Yeah.
then it's become more like a building in public journey, yes, where like I'm posting um, mainly about free topics. So I'm posting about the startups or projects, how to grow the startups as a solo founder, how to build some features, basically all building in public, my MRR, failures, and everything around that. I also post about how to get into LinkedIn, so or some posts like that. So, but
Yeah.
initially, I understand everyone is struggling, and like my recommendation would be you just need to post, yeah, and discover more people, and then you will get into that. You will find
Yeah.
your voice, kind of, or what you're interested in to or can talk about. Yeah.
That's that's interesting. It feels like, it's sort of like there's sort of a natural progression from I just post something without thinking about it to okay, now I'm thinking about it and I also have something to post about, right? And you talked about getting into LinkedIn, right? How does a founder get into LinkedIn? Because a lot of founders, especially those building micro SaaS apps, are on Twitter, for instance, and they want to get into LinkedIn. How do they do this? Is it something Postly helps with? Maybe you could just talk to us about Postly then and the practicals of it.
Yeah. So like I mean, LinkedIn is, as any social platform, have their own kind of things you need to know about it. Yeah. So when you post on Twitter, you know that you can post like short posts, you can post like some threads, yes, and you know which posts work, which doesn't work. Yeah. So
Hmm.
approximately, if you spend like half a year on Twitter, you are like, okay, this is how I need to form my threads on Twitter in order for people to consume them. Yeah. Or on Reddit, if you know Reddit, you also know they have their own kind of, in different threads, how you post, how you communicate with the people. The same is about the LinkedIn. Yeah. So the LinkedIn has their own rules
Yeah.
how you need to format your threads, which give you more chances to get more attention. So of course there's like, I always believe there's like the idea, yes, which you trying to bring, or the content first, and then there is like the structure and format, yes, and then
Yeah.
the structure and format is like the minimum what you can bring, because you don't need to be creative for that. Yeah, you can just use Postly, the structure. you
Yeah.
know
So tell
or
us about, okay, sorry, go on.
so that's kind of what I think. So if you get in on LinkedIn, you need to figure out a bit how people post there, yeah, in order to get more success. But you do that by following the different people, yes, by learning from their
Mm-hmm.
posts, yes, and um, by using some content creation tool which helps you, yes. So that's how you figure out your way. Sometimes some people hire also the ghostwriters, yes, who help you to get your
Oh,
opinion and thoughts out there, yeah. So I know a lot of people who like helping, for example, founders who have a lot of ideas and experiences but don't have time, or like don't know how to communicate it on LinkedIn specifically.
yeah.
And then, yeah, they do that. They use either the tools, either the ghostwriters, either both. Either you break through by yourself, yeah, and just
Mm-hmm.
spend more time, yeah, and
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think that does make sense. I've seen like a couple of people say, they can help you write your LinkedIn post. I've just felt like social media has some sort of personality to it that you really almost cannot outsource. At least you cannot outsource entirely to someone else. So it'd be really interesting to see how that works in reality, and if like there's been successes with it. I do know folks have told me, for instance, that I write well on LinkedIn. The truth is, I struggle to even find like what to write because I overthink it. Right, I overthink it because I have like business partners, like the more serious stuff. On the scale of seriousness, for me, it's like Instagram at the bottom, Twitter next, and then LinkedIn top. It's like folks that pay me on LinkedIn, the folks that I talk to that I could just I just know online on Twitter, and then all my like family members and personal connections on Instagram. So on LinkedIn, I'm usually very like, should I share this? Can I like say it this way? Do I have to share something helpful? Or maybe if I share something a bit unhelpful, someone will feel like, oh, they don't trust this guy. And incidentally, they don't trust our brand, they don't trust Hack Mama. So maybe they shouldn't buy from us because people are quick to associate like whatever you do personally with your brand. So I usually overthink Twitter, not Twitter, LinkedIn. That's as far as I know. What would you say have been the biggest takeaways or the biggest gains for you from posting frequently on a platform like LinkedIn or even Twitter?
I would say that the like I feel like in reality posting, or when you start posting on LinkedIn and Twitter, it's very risk free, yes, because the worst what will happen, you will post and nobody will see it, like hundreds of people will see it, yeah, and you like
Yeah.
and what is the damage? I mean, how big can be the damage of that, yeah?
Yeah.
So and of course, if you the win is like that, the people
Hmm.
gonna trust your brand much more, yeah.
Yeah.
So and I think people, it's just coming in. Like 3 years ago, LinkedIn was not a creator platform at all, or at least I didn't see it. And there were a couple of creators like this popular, someone like Justin Welsh, which now everyone know as one person who is like top person on LinkedIn. But
Hmm.
now it's becoming more and more creator platform. So where you basically deliver people the value and explaining, either showing your journey, yes, like building in public, show MRR, show like how the hack member works, like writing about some other your work. And this way the people trust you because they see your face, yeah. So that's the whole, like the same on YouTube, the same in there. But like I think on LinkedIn it's never been like that so much, and now it's becoming literally like people coming with their creator content. So it's just becoming a new active channel to post there, yes. And
Hmm.
if for example, for you is like low hanging fruit. You run these interviews, you pushing them on LinkedIn, Twitter,
Yeah.
YouTube, yeah, and you just winning. And then, for example, you can cut the pieces of that interviews, not even the videos, yes, if you don't like to edit the videos,
Yeah.
but even the pieces of text, yeah. I'm sure like some AI can cut the piece of text for you from this video, and then you can turn it in the posts, for example, on Postly, but not
Hmm.
necessary
Yeah.
anywhere else, but like in general. And then you have the content for LinkedIn, and then you're gonna be, and the same for Twitter, yeah, and then you're gonna be heard more and more, yeah. It's like win win.
Yeah. I think church bell around here is just going off. Can you hear it?
No, I don't hear.
Okay. I have a good mic then because I could hear even through my headphones. But yeah, that's something great you mentioned, the ability to repurpose all this content and just win from it. And also, again, there are no downsides to just posting. There are only, there's only upside for it. Now I'm very fascinated about Postly. Could you like share more about it? How did you decide to create or to get started with Postly or involved with it? And what does it do basically? Let me find the website and put on here while you're speaking.
So yeah, you can find it on postly.co, or anyone on my profile. I'm screaming about it every day, so you will not be bored. But basically, that's the LinkedIn content creation tool. And the main way how I started with Postly is just when the ChatGPT API, OpenAI APIs become available, yes, become easy to use. I took one of the existing open source project and built simple post generator, which is on the postgenerator.app. And then I build it and launch it on LinkedIn, and a lot of people start using that and trying that. And basically, that was my way to turn it into Postly. Yeah? But like taking into account that I didn't know the code, yes, everything was the learning, yes, how to connect the Stripe, how to connect the login even, yeah, authentication, and how to run the database. All I was learning by doing the Postly, yes. So it's, and the whole idea is that AI is helping you a lot creating the posts, but Postly is contain like three parts. It has like one is AI generation, so different functions which can format your third idea article into the LinkedIn style of post. Then there is like posts library. There's like over 1,000 posts of different LinkedIn creators there, which I update monthly, which you can get the inspiration from. So because if you go on the LinkedIn, your timeline look awful when you start on LinkedIn. It's like some coworkers from previous era, some cringe, some advertisements, some awful stuff.
Yeah.
And then very hard to find some interesting posts. Let's say you are like interested in open source. If you just search on LinkedIn open source, you will find nothing useful, huh?
Nothing. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why this kind of collection of the posts from existing founders, people in different sectors. That's what I'm doing. And the third thing is templates. So this is basically the structures, also taken from how people write on LinkedIn. Let's
Hmm.
say there's like popular structure like stop doing this, start doing this, and you take this structure on Postly in one click, write, I don't know, uh, development, yeah, and it will generate for your topic using this structure the post, which you can edit and adjust for with more thirds. And yeah, so that's the whole idea, to simplify the content creation, that you don't need to spend hours for it per day.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like I can already like see because like you said, if you go to LinkedIn without like any, I don't know, curated timeline, you just get on the cringe streets. as I like to call them. It's just cringing posts, people congratulating themselves, and you're like, no, this is not what I want. But I know I've gotten like so much out of LinkedIn. I follow like amazing creators that are creating content, especially for like B2B products that I care about, right? Folks sharing
Mm-hmm.
tips, founders sharing their experiences. So yeah, definitely Postly looks like a great tool for this. And I like the feature where you can see what has worked, right? So what have others created, especially creators that are probably in the similar domain as you, how they've created content and it has worked for them. So you can just use like a similar format to try. I do know personally, when I read those posts, I internalize a sort of like a system, right? So when I scroll through LinkedIn and I see a post with like a couple hundred reactions, because folks are pretty like not as generous with likes and reactions like Twitter. So when I see like 300 reactions on LinkedIn, I look at the post again. I look at it like 3, 4 times. I'm like, what makes this post special? Right? And I
Mm-hmm.
just try to remember that. And I learned it from most posts I see that are successful. And the next time I want to write, something in me just says, oh, okay, you need to write like a one sentence hook at the start. You need to grab attention. Then you need to like tell a great story. And then you need to close it with something warm or close it with something like passionate, right? To get people to be like, this makes you feel warm, right? Or you want them to feel a certain way or charged, or like when I see that, that's sort of how I've refined the LinkedIn posts I've created so far, and it's worked. So I guess with myself I have to remember, but using a tool like Postly I don't have to remember because I see those templates, I see those posts, those LinkedIn posts, those sample LinkedIn posts that I could get inspiration from. I see them on the platform while I'm creating.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think what I always recommend. So many people asking me, the founders, like how we can get into LinkedIn the fastest way. Like, yeah, we, for example, don't have money, cannot hire the ghostwriter. Yes, and except recommending my tool, of course, I'm always recommending doing this one thing. So let's say you want, and I did it myself. So when I was like, and I saw it from other creator. So when I get in this product-led growth, I saw one creator did every week recap of the best posts in product-led growth. So he
Mm-hmm.
mentioned these like five, like I don't know, he probably created like these 10 people or 20 people who is in the sector, and he write small recap what they wrote about today, this week. And then he become a kind of, without sharing his own expert opinion, yes, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have this yet, you kind of aggregate existing people, and by mentioning these people you getting into their into their
Their
network,
feed.
yeah?
Yeah.
If they somehow comment or like or something, you get into that. And I did that for some time for LinkedIn. So I was gathering 5 or 6 or 10 posts about how to grow on LinkedIn, which written by different people over the week on LinkedIn. And it was very interesting because I discovered a lot of new stuff how to write on LinkedIn. I discovered a lot of new people in this sector, yeah. And these posts kind of always was helpful, everyone like aggregation. So if I it's not easy way, but if for example you want to get into LinkedIn and let's say you want to become known for open source or known for development or known, there could be not many, but aggregate every week or every month 5 posts which you like. You will learn more, you will find LinkedIn creators, you will get into the network, and that will help you a lot to grow. So this is like maybe not very conventional and a little bit exposing tip, because you would mention these people, yes, they maybe not comment, maybe don't like, maybe nothing, maybe they not reacted to you at all, yeah? And that's always the risk. But how big this risk is, like, then nobody will see you. So I mean, what's the worst can happen?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So no one will see you. But I guess when I see such like posts, because I'm super busy, I come on and I see like someone has aggregated like a top 5 posts they think is interesting to check out with sales outreach. Like I almost want to buy them coffee, right? I want to like buy them something. I'm like, oh, thanks for saving me the time of going through to check, all these things. And I like to see such posts put on Twitter and on LinkedIn as well. Not just LinkedIn, but when I see posts that helpfully aggregate like really important stuff, right? I think that I find it very helpful. For instance, during like the early, like when ChatGPT got very popular, uh, GPT-4, I kept seeing like, here are top advancements in AI this week, right? And it was because the ecosystem was moving so fast, there was no way for me to keep up. But those posts, they were like golden. I literally followed a bunch of creators just because they shared roundups at the end of each week. And I was just too busy to find those things. So I missed it initially. So yeah, that's a great tip. And I think that's a good way for someone to start. But then I think, how do you find these posts in the first place? What's the best way to get started finding creators and people that actually create meaningful stuff in a particular domain? How'd you find them on LinkedIn?
Don't wanna, of course, again promote falsely, but would
Yeah.
need, obviously, would
Okay.
need to promote the post again. So I have this public database I send in here, but it's also in the tool. So there's like creators which I personally like, or someone who wrote me that they want to be in there, or like I saw them, yes, in different sectors. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the best way is, of course, you need to research them by yourself. So like taking the list of the creators, like this is the founders, but you can filter, yes, by the different filters. And maybe it's not
Ah.
so many, but in my experience, if you have even 10 people you interested in something, like what you interested in, let's say you're interested in AI, in
Mm-hmm.
founder, in indie hacking, you start following them, you start commenting on something you like there, yeah, and then you will discover more people in different sectors there. So that's um I would say, the again, LinkedIn for some reason doing such a fuzzy bad job for us when we want
Okay.
to find the creators. Yes, we Google marketing, we find some people who can be the head of marketing somewhere but never posted anything useful in their life. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I can imagine.
that's the main problem. So that we need still to separate the LinkedIn creators and just the people with the titles, yes, which is like on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn promote them, yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of um yeah, I'm kind of like thinking, so I have this database which is maybe not very big, but I'm constantly updating it, and then you can check inside the posts from these people, so like the as an inspiration. So if you log in, and there's like also some other databases like that, but then you find your 5 people, and then it's getting much easier. So you find
Yeah.
your 5 people, and then that's it, you like continuously um, growing there with
Yeah.
the network. And because like you see who comment in there under these posts, and yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a good one. Is finding these people. Oh, first of all, I think this tool is really good. Um, I guess as the database grows, it gets even more useful because sometimes I'm looking for people in certain, maybe someone to hire, maybe not just someone to connect with, someone to hire. And trust me, it's super difficult with LinkedIn, especially if you're not paying for like LinkedIn Premium, right? You haven't found a need for it. but you're looking for like certain experts, say graphic designer, um, for instance, it'd be nice to have a database like this that has a great user interface, right? Better than LinkedIn search. So you can search on like roles. So this is Igor's here. So this is definitely a great tool. I would like to mention that one way I've also found great people, maybe not the way to find great people initially, but the way to find more subsequently, like you said, is to look at comments, right? So for folks that create content consistently, I look at people that leave reactions on their comments on their
Mhm.
posts and people that comment on it. And more often than not, I find like if like really good people in those comments, commenting on like writing great comments, insightful comments, and then I go to their profile and I see, oh, this person is great. They make videos often, and they're just like super cool to follow. They're a good creator to follow. An example I always mention is Jordan Crawford. He makes sales videos, sales automation, and sales data videos, like super amazing creator Jordan. He's helped my life a couple of times without even knowing. Without even knowing, just by creating really good stuff on LinkedIn. Yeah, so for sure this is definitely a good strategy. I guess you keep updating this database as time goes on.
Yeah, I keep updating this database, and then there's like Simula database of the templates which connected with the influencers. So you basically run these databases of the creators together with their posts connected to them as an
Mm-hmm.
examples, and then this um, which can be saved, reused, or like something like that. So it's basically um, all these. Inspiration which grow in there. I'm looking for the way how I could really scale it much more, but like
Mm-hmm.
currently this is like very hands-on efforts, because LinkedIn API is very limited, and everything what people doing, if they doing something like that, that's scraping. So
Yeah.
either they build in the scraping, or they using some scraping engines. And
Yeah.
while you're scraping, of course you are thinking you don't want to scrape like I, for example, don't want to scrape the people which you can open and see they posting only the new job updates there, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I
Yeah.
don't want, yeah. So and for that it's kind of like the process where I'm doing big part of that manual, yeah, with the
Mm-hmm.
scraping. And I'm
Yeah.
looking for the way how the people now like kind of building how you can add your own template or your own post as a template. Yes, you like someone's post and you can add it in postly and save it for later, so that it's
Yeah.
ready for the same with the creators. Then the other people can fill in my database of creators, and everyone can use it basically. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
will be open to everyone. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's like small database currently is the reason of manual, but also like to keep the quality, yes, of the thing. So
Mm-hmm. I also think that as we get to a hyper automation state of things, especially with software and experiences, opinionated experiences and opinionated would I say insights start to win more, right?
mhm,
So people want to understand, they care about your opinion, they want to learn who do you recommend following, not some list you pulled from LinkedIn that's automatic, right, and shared with them, but who does Iuliia think I should check out, and who do you think I should follow? That starts to become more important, and people cherish such because the quality is going to be like really good. It's going to be very relevant, and they probably have even better context, right? So
mhm,
I think keeping it manual, even though it's high effort, um, definitely makes it like really high value as well.
mhm. Yeah, that's what I also think. So
Yeah,
keep
that's
going.
cool. Yeah. So looking at both channels, right? So a lot of founders start out at Twitter. A lot of founders start from nowhere. Some founders rarely start from like LinkedIn, especially if they come from like maybe management consulting. Then they start from LinkedIn. Um, but looking at all these channels, at least channels for like professional channels, which do you think, in your opinion, is preferred? Or is there like any criteria as to why a founder should go with LinkedIn over Twitter or Twitter over LinkedIn at any given point? And also from your experience.
Oh, I think that's a lot depends on your product which you build in. Yeah, like everyone would say you, it depends on your product. I feel like the people on LinkedIn have more money. That's
Yeah.
just my feeling, especially because there are like a lot of employed people, yeah, on LinkedIn. Whereas like the Twitter, at least in my crowd, there's like a lot of indie hackers,
Unemployed
yes,
people.
unemployed people. Yeah, yeah, but like I mean, like employed in not necessarily like good or bad way, yeah? Employed, not
Yeah.
employed.
But like in a job.
But like the people who have the jobs, who have the budgets, yeah, it's not even about
Yeah.
the jobs, it's about the budgets, yeah.
The budget.
As
Yeah.
on Twitter, I see a lot of indie hackers, and if you sell for indie hackers, that's maybe very good for you, yeah. That's like, I know the people who selling for indie hackers, and it's great place to be, yeah, to post on Twitter. On LinkedIn, if you though you can get access to these budgets. And I get familiar with LinkedIn by doing the cold outreach, yes, before even with my previous startup. And I will tell you, like, we sold, like, basically we got our first 10 customers through LinkedIn, through cold outreach on LinkedIn, which was all
Huh.
the, like, I don't know, maybe 20 plus employee growing startup companies, yeah. And I think it's a good result, like, overall to that. And all the people who are using Postly, or whoever become a customer of Postly, which is like maybe around more than 150 people, because like I still have like people chord, yes, and everything, but all come from through LinkedIn. It's like
Hmm.
100% through just my posts. And if you check my posts, I mean, it's not like I'm getting million views there, you know? So I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
getting the views, yeah, but it's not like I'm just getting so many views in there. And I think it's not even needed to. You need just that the right people getting in, and the audience is building around what you're doing, the people who interested recommending your stuff. And yeah, so my feeling is, if you can use everything, use all. And I have an examples of people
Hmm.
who post on Twitter. They are the indie hackers who post on Twitter, then they post on LinkedIn also, maybe in more long form or a bit adapt, or sometimes not even adapt. They catch the audience also there, then they post on Reddit. And like, I mean, it's working good. Like, I I see that's working good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great then. Because I guess, well, I think different people have different opinions. Because I think I once stumbled on Twitter where someone said, if you have, uh, the person basically just said, if mistake most founders make is being everywhere, right? Creating content, not being everywhere, but creating content everywhere, rather than picking a channel, focusing on channel and growing. As a founder, it sounded counterintuitive because I know you want to market everywhere till you find what works, right? You want to be on TikTok till you find like market fitness, or you find like your customers. Then you can say, oh, so this is where it's at. This is where I'm going to focus on, right? So I guess different people have different opinions of like, trying everything. And at the same time, some are like, yeah, you need to specialize. Personally, I think you need to be everywhere. until you find what pays you, maybe 10, 100K consistently, then you can specialize there. And yeah, I totally agree with you that the big ticket, the big box, are definitely on LinkedIn. The folks with the budget, the marketing teams that have the most budget in organizations are definitely on LinkedIn, not on Twitter. Previously, I think they used to be on Twitter until Uncle Elon decided to like make it a very hostile place for people to be here. So with a lot of like the bots, marketing was cheap. So a lot of like bad actors are like marketing. Literally, it's just made ads on Twitter just not great, right? Not good because it's easily accessible. I mean, it's good in some ways and it's also bad in some other ways. So I found that like the folks with that are ready to buy, right, and that also take you serious, they are more on LinkedIn. And again, as you said, depends on your product, right? Depends on if you're selling like a product for indie hackers, you want to be wherever your ICP or your buyers
Mm-hmm.
wherever they are. So yeah, that definitely does make sense. Could you speak a bit more about Papermark? I don't want to leave that hanging before the stream ends.
Yeah. I just want to say actually, like for Papermark, for example, the main channel or the best channel is Google. Like initially, we
Hmm.
were like writing a lot on Twitter. Yes, there were a lot of open source contributors. Everyone spoken about the Papermark, but we didn't get any customers. Like very low amount of customers. But
Okay.
contributors, first users, because like Papermark is basically a DocSend alternative, and if any founder who knows who fundraise, you use you share your pitch deck, for example, with the link, and then you can track time on each slide, and you can gate it with email. Yes, and now the Papermark also allow people to share any document and to create the data room. So it means like you can share the group of documents with one link and then track all activity on each of the documents. So this analytics is very valuable, and we go as an open source alternative to DocSend positioning, and we're ranking in Google on the first spot for DocSend alternative. And that's basically why like a lot of our paid customers coming in, because they're like the people who looking for DocSend alternative, and apparently there's a lot of them. They looking because they're ready to buy something else. Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
this is why the Papermark is kind of um, like, despite on that it's open source and we need to get more benefit of the self-hosted Papermark for maybe future for the enterprise clients, or like currently people not so much coming for open source, whereas you can self-host it. Yes, it's open source, all the code is open, you can self-host it.
Huh.
But most of the people coming for
The
just
cloud version.
they go searching for the good alternative of the DocSend. And yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's interesting to know.
and the Google was like and if you go on the Papermark website, so it's papermarks.io, yes, you will see that we even write in our main header that it's like DocSend alternative, which give
Yeah.
us more credibility for Google. And yeah.
Oh, I put Postly here again. So it's papermark.io.
Hmm.
Yeah, this looks, I mean, it's just pretty straightforward, right? It's let me just pull it up here. Yeah, it says the open source DocSend alternative.
Hmm. And we were not
So
sure,
this is mhm.
should we call it like document sharing platform, yes, or like how we should position ourselves. But then at the end we stick to this one, and like 90% of serious customers, they or users, they come in by looking the alternative. at the moment. Yes. So
Yeah. So even though there is a self-hostable version, I don't think like there's a huge appeal to self-host your own like document tracking system. So do you feel like the open source angle to it is like, was that like a marketing ploy, or it was like just open source, or
zero
that's
zero
strategic?
marketing, zero marketing
Okay.
ploy. So
Okay.
even I know that's like typical question, yes, but the founder, the my co-founder Mark, who kind of building the core of the product, he's like very deep in open source. He has his own channel on YouTube about open source. He was like contributor very heavily, and it was not even the question to build something which will not be an open source. Yeah. And
Yeah.
this all started as a tweet, as a just joke project. Let's build the open source alternative to DocSend just for fun, because DocSend is um, kind of sucks. Can we tell?
A big company, so I guess we can say that they suck for sure.
So it's not even about that it's our, like, currently it's our competitor, yeah, or whatever. But it's more about, like, I had the bad experience of DocSend where they charge my company, my previous company, they charge extra 600 euro. And for small startup, they were charging us every month. We didn't even know that it's like going through, because like we were all over everything. And then I get into the support and they said like, we can return you like some of that money, but we cannot. But I like prove them that we didn't even open the DocSend. Yes, so they were charging us and we
Yeah.
didn't even open, and we didn't, was not even, it was not a clear decision that we were upgraded by adding the one more person or two more people. So we added people inside and they upgrade us on the like more people
Yeah.
plans. So this pissed me off personally, so that's why I kind of was excited. And also,
Yeah.
like, as soon as they sell to the Dropbox, it felt like they bit not maybe innovating so much anymore. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was just the opportunity. Okay, let's get more serious on that and really build a good
Yeah.
product. Open source, yes, still in the long run we hope that there will come the enterprise clients with the more need for self-hosting, yes, or more other
Hmm.
people with the more need for self-hosting. But at the moment it's like mid-market and they don't want to self-host. Yeah,
Self-host. Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
how it
I
is. Yeah.
can. Yeah, I can imagine, and that makes sense, right? I just asked you, just to get that clear, right?
Mhm.
So it's great that it's open source at heart, and obviously, I'm building a similar, open source alternative that unfortunately I cannot share at the moment, but when you see like a large organization or an organization just they just start doing stuff wrong, at least they're not innovating as fast, first, I think that's a good sign that there's an opportunity here. The second opportunity that is unconventional is the moment they get bought over by a larger company. I just say, I think there's an even bigger opportunity here now, because the speed of innovation just like really tanks after that. So definitely, I think there is a good opportunity here with Papermark, and it looks really cool. Like the design looks like really nice and simple, and like
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's very nice design. I'm building mainly some stuff for growth. So we have a very complex setup. So we have the open source project with everything in there. Then we have separate database for papermark/investors, because there we have over 7,000 investor database, which kind of help founders to fundraise. And then
Yeah.
we have all the content. So I produce a lot of content and pages and comparisons and
Hmm.
build this. We all build that, yeah. And that's like
Yeah.
all micro tools also, like we build this like deck, pitch deck generator. And so we kind of I'm working a lot on building these micro tools and growth tools, and Mark working on the core thing. I'm afraid to break something there, so it's
Yeah.
like so, but yeah, but the product is very, very clean and beautiful and fruitful, and yeah, just like
Yeah.
joy, I think, for
That's
experience.
Yeah, that's great. Like I look forward to seeing it grow. I really want to talk about like all the growth bits you do, from like the marketing side of things to the micro tools you build to like a data room to share to like potential investors. That all sounds like really interesting stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have as much time on this stream to discuss that, but definitely we should get you on another call to talk about this. This has been amazing. Thank you very much, Yulia.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. And to everyone else listening, thanks for sticking around to the end of this. This has been an amazing session. And we do this every week as usual, or sometime on Wednesday. We talk to amazing people about everything outside code. So yeah, we'll see you next Wednesday. And until then, let's have a wonderful rest of the day then. Thank you so much, Ilya, and
Thank
everyone
you.
that tuned in. Bye.